That's how you do it. Hello, my friend, and welcome to Paradise, the good news with Tabitha Christopher. I'm your host, Tabitha Christopher. Here, everything is always cool and airy. You know what the good news is? I'm glad you asked, I'll tell you. The good news is Jesus Christ. He didn't just come to give us a great story. He left us with a great roadmap of how to live the good life. One tool that we need in order to do that is money, right? Right. I hope that you take what our financial experts are going to show and apply it to your life so you don't make the same mistakes that I made over and over and over again. You check? Luke 6:38, it says, "Give, and it shall be given to you. Pressed down, shaken together, running over, men shall give into your bosom. With whatever measure you meet, it shall be met to you." Matt, thank you so much for joining us here in Paradise, the good news with Tabitha Christopher.
Thank you for having me, Tabitha.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited because even though I've been learning bit by bit, there's always so much you can learn. Because things change often, doesn't it?
That's right. First of all, thank you so much for having me, Tabitha. Very excited to be here. So our firm serves as a private fiduciary for families usually with more complex wealth. So things like lots of business, lots of investments, lots of real estate. We don't manage money, we don't sell insurance. We actually oversee all of the assets and goings on of families, usually with a lot of complexity. So our job is to sort of be an objective overseer of all the financial decisions in the lives of the families. And we get involved in estate planning stuff and insurance stuff and investment stuff. So we really get to see a lot of interesting things and a lot of families in Southern California.
And you can see that you are so passionate about it. You just light up.
That's right.
Is it because you love to help people, right?
That's right. That's right.
And that makes your job so much it gives it so much worth in doing.
There's a lot of people, a lot of financial problems in Southern California, Tabitha.
Well,
so
yeah, you know what?
A lot of work.
Everywhere, right? Everywhere. So what's the best age you would say people should start saving?
So as you would not be surprised to hear, any age is the right age to start saving, as you would expect me to say. How you save looks a little bit different depending on where you are in your life, right? So if you are just starting out in a career and you are in your 20s and 30s, then it's really just about, perhaps paying yourself first, along with your tithing, of course, before you even see the paycheck. So for example, if your company has something like a 401k, or you can put the money directly into an IRA, which are these tax deferred kind of savings things.
Yes.
Just pay it in there before you even see the money, and then just spend what's left. As you get into your 40s and 50s, then it takes a little bit more diligence. You have your kids have a lot, perhaps your parents need help. You've just got a lot of things pulling you different directions, so then it takes a little bit more of a spending plan, perhaps, to make sure that you're carving off enough each month in service to your goals. And so, depending on where your life, it's never a bad time to start saving, for sure.
Okay, this was brought up. 529 plan. What is that?
So these are plans that are intended to help people save for college, for college spending. They are not used for things like private school, for high school or something like that. They are used really for college and graduate school. And so what you do is you take money after tax dollars, so after your net paycheck dollars, and you put it into this account. And it grows tax-free. So not tax deferred, tax-free. It's never ever taxed. The growth, the income inside of that account, but you have to use it on education expenses.
I see.
So it is a fantastic way for families, particularly with young kids, where there's many years coming to enjoy that tax-free growth.
Yes.
To put money into a 529 plan, even a little bit, makes a huge difference. And then that money is available for usually the kids, but the parents can use it. Different family members can use it. You don't have to explicitly use it on the person that you set it up for. They're very flexible. You can pull money out of them if you have to. With some mild income tax implications, but really, there's a lot of flexibility with those kinds of things. So they are a fantastic, tax-advantaged college savings account. Okay,
so for instance, if let's say the kid gets a scholarship, a full ride, and they get financial aid in addition to that, that takes care of everything. But then they also have a 529 plan.
That's right.
Could they use that money say for instance they were leaving home and they wanted to live on their own. Would that work in a line with the plan or no?
So the short answer is yes. So you first of all, I mentioned it earlier. You can even if one child, your first child, gets a full ride, doesn't need the 529 at all. You can still use those funds for your other child, for a nephew, a niece, for you personally if you want to go back to school. So first of all, anyone can use the funds if the one person originally didn't need them. But let's say the child gets a full ride and they don't, and now the 529, you're thinking to yourself, I'm going to let them use that for getting set up in life, maybe buying a house, something like that. You technically, when the money comes out, if you don't use it for education, there's a 10% penalty on the growth piece, and it's taxed as income, the growth is, but you know what? You had many, many years of tax, really deferred growth in that case, and it still works. It's a very flexible vehicle. It's not that bad if you don't use it for college, because you had a lot of years of it growing without taxes.
Say a person is in their 50s or older, and they've not saved anything at all. Is there any hope for them?
Yeah, it's a great question, Tabitha, and we do absolutely see that all the time. It really starts with the fundamentals. So it starts with, just do you understand your own financial picture? Have you sat down and do you know what your assets are in terms of homes, cars, that kind of stuff? Do you know what your liabilities are in terms of mortgages and credit card debt? Have you ever put that in one place and really looked at it and understood what you have and who you owe, right? Income, expenses is another piece that's important to understand. What is your income? Most people know that, but what is your spending? What is your lifestyle cost? How much are you spending each month? And actually calculating it, not assuming that you know it, but figuring out what it is. So it starts with just understanding yourself or your own financial picture. And then it's coming to terms with your goals. What do you want to happen over the next 5 years, the next 10 years? At that age, perhaps it is, beginning to look at retirement or begin to save for retirement. So you got to have goals. You got to be working towards something. But then, at that point, it really becomes, how can I each month start to carve off a little bit of money to go into savings, right? And it is about putting together a plan. We talked a little bit earlier about potentially, paying yourself first, setting aside a little bit of money each month. But once you have that sense of your financial picture, once you know what your goals are, it becomes much easier to get yourself on a plan to save a little bit as you go. And it's just taking those first steps in many cases and just getting a piece of savings going as it compounds and you have time when you're in your 50s to still save. It just makes a huge difference just to get going, get those fundamentals set up and start saving a little bit each month.
So basically what you're saying is that the hope is held within that person's hand. It's up to them to really sit down and take time to face the mirror.
That's right. That's right. And really just take that first step. I mean, it is easy to contemplate your situation and almost freeze up and do nothing in some cases. So what I advocate for is just take action, save a little bit, even if it's $50 each month, but get into some kind of plan and some kind of rhythm that you're saving a little bit. But if you can do it in the context of understanding what your income is, understanding what your lifestyle costs are, and being thoughtful about one minus the other is the savings, right? So being thoughtful about that equation is where success lies, and understanding how those numbers work in your financial life.
Matt, you are just incredible. Thank you so much for everything that you shared today. Now, before we go, we have to tell our guests where they can go for help. And I can start on what Matt talked about today.
Sure. So it starts with potentially using a financial advisor. So I am a CFP. I advocate for using certified financial planners. There's certainly a cost there, but that is a great way to find someone to guide you through that. There's also a lot of resources online. Things like Mint.com is Mint.com is my favorite online resource for budgeting and saving money and tracking spending and those sorts of things. Vanguard.com is my favorite website and mutual fund company for thinking about saving money and investing. So those are the two websites that I would use to kind of start with, to learn online. And then particularly as you get a little bit later in life, maybe it's time to find a financial advisor that can help you and help put you on a plan to get you where you need to go.
Incredible. Thank you, Matt, once again for coming. And I hope that you do come back again.
Absolutely. Okay. Anytime, Tabitha.
Thank you so much. I challenge you to take what Matt has talked about. Go to the websites he provided. Create a one-year plan, a short-term plan of what it is you want to do from this day that you're watching this video to a year from now. Once you do that, I want you to put it up on the wall, someplace where you can see it every day, where you have to look at it, right? It says in the scripture, Habakkuk 2:2, write the vision on tablets and make it plain so that whoever picks it up can run with it. So that means you, your brother, your sister, your mother, everybody, when they see it, they can know what to do with it and they can make something happen. I'm telling you, just do it and change your life. Love you. Thank you for checking in, and we'll check you later.